What's going on, guys? How are we doing? Back at it again for another video. Today's video is centered around the topic and the idea of what is the best all-around like non-GL team right now, or I guess better way to put it, what gets the most bang for your buck in all different modes. And I don't know, I really don't want to tie this into the GL at all, but the team that I'm talking about that you get here leads up to getting one of the better GLs, if not the best GL in the game. That's up for debate. But we're talking about the First Order right now. There's a lot of different reasons as to why I feel like this is a really nice all-around team right now in the game, whether you're early game, middle game, or late game. Biggest reason is for middle game and even early game, it's a bit easier to access to get them unlocked and all that sort of stuff. And then when you get to that later game, you're going to be getting a nice GL Kylo. And that's awesome. Another big thing is fleet. Fleet is always a big topic of discussion because that's the biggest mode right now besides GAC to get your crystals every single day. And that team is ridiculous. It's the finalizer with, you know, all that fun stuff for the First Order fleet. It's pretty dang good. But the main reason I wanted to bring this up is because in different modes, I'm talking about TW and GAC for the most part, is counters and what teams are like always being used like every single time I play GAC or TW. What's being used, what's being the most consistent without having to worry too much about modding and all that, you know. And it's not just for offenses, it can be for defenses too. So I'm mainly talking about the TW aspect. Let's talk about that real quick first, and we kind of go over to the GAC stuff. But I mean, just thinking about this for like an hour or so, trying to brainstorm what other team is as good as this or gets, you know, as much use without having to be crazy hard for farming. I just always think of the First Order. Right now, First Order are great. They've been in a great spot for a while, and even that much more so with the Finalizer's new echelon. So Phasma Omicron. This is one of the best TW Omicrons in the game. It's been there for a long time. I recommend this highly. So this one, what it gives is more chances to assist. There's more speed for her. And then also, whenever they attack out of turn, they recover more health and protection. Another thing here is at the very bottom, whenever a First Order ally gains advantage, they also gain extra offense stacking for the rest of the counter. And all other First Order allies gain 7.5% TM. So it is crazy good. Not only does this like just destroy teams, one team that you see a lot of right now are some of those some of those Star Killers. And Star Killer is a non-stop team I see in my TWs with my guild, and that's because of Jahani's Omicron. And this team beats it very well if you have some decent mods. Even if you don't have decent mods, it can kill some pretty nice Star Killers. It doesn't just have to be about Star Killers. This kills a lot of other strong stuff in TW. But the team we're talking about relies on Phasma lead with crew right here, Hux, Sith Trooper, and that fifth right now is Officer. Now, if you have some crazy relics on your Sith Trooper and really awesome modding, then you might not need Officer. You can use somebody else, maybe like FOTP. So this team is great in TW. It has awesome for fleet, or is an awesome fleet rather. And now talking about GAC. GAC, I don't love this as much as Phasma, but the FOTP Omicron does give out some nice stuff as well. So what does this one give out? Well, it says if there are no GL allies and there are all First Order allies, you're going to be getting 100% chance to gain foresight at the start of the encounter for FOTP. But then also says here for other allies on the team, you get more max health. And then it says here whenever an ally has advantage, they have extra crit damage and they even get more speed. This is pretty cool, especially since talking about with Hux being here in the team, you're going to be getting that advantage off the bat for every single person that are First Order. So everyone's already going to start the battle off with extra 100 speed, which is pretty ridiculous. So more damage, more speed. And then it says at the start of the round, if an ally does not have advantage, they have 100% tenacity until they gain it. And then it says here, whenever an ally loses advantage, they recover extra health and protection. And then keeping this going here, whenever First Order TIE Pilot gains bonus turn meter, they also gain advantage for one turn if they didn't have it already. And then lastly here, another pretty annoying part I like about this guy, if you are using him on offense or defense, I guess more for defense, it's more annoying. It says he whenever he gains foresight, everybody else gets it too. So the one difference between this and the other one for Phasma is that there isn't any extra stacking offense. So like Phasma's leadership, it says here, whenever an ally gains advantage, right, they gain an extra 10% offense and extra TM to the rest of the team. So there, in this one, the reason why it's not as strong is because there's no extra TM gaining here, and there is no extra offense stacking. Yes, there is the extra damage here whenever you have advantage, and you do get extra speed, but you don't have that extra TM train going and that extra damage stacking and ramping for you. So the issue you might run into is in GAC, especially GAC, because you're going to be fighting some Star Killers that might have those Omicrons, and if they do, you might be in a bit more trouble. I've won some, but if you're fighting a very well modded one with all the Omicrons, it's a little bit more tricky. The reason why is because you have this Omicron in GAC, so they have even more offense, more speed. They taunt at the start of the battle. Debuffed enemies deal less damage, and just more more annoying things here. So that's the main reason. It can still beat some, but it's just a little bit more tricky. I'm not even talking just about Star Killer. It seems like I am very much so emphasized on Star Killer, but if you want to use this guy in GAC, you can use him. I still prefer the Phasma lead just because of the extra assists. But one team I found pretty good for offenses, at least, is with Phasma lead, FOTP, Omicron, Hux. I still like Crew there for that 4th, and 5th is still Sith Trooper. Sometimes, though, if I'm not fighting that Star Killer, I'm able to save Crew for another pre-taunt on a different team, and then slot him out with no Taunter and using instead Executioner for more TM gaining, just because there is no TM train really in this team besides the Hux's extra passing around and also Phasma's passing around. It's not bad, but I just feel like there's a little bit better way to go about it. So that's just one thing I've noticed. And then, of course, you know, everything else just plays into part in some mode in the game. All right, in some aspect, you'll be getting some extra reward for farming this team and getting these guys with relics. They are a fantastic squad. I mean, just kind of thinking about it. I mean, of course, I was thinking about like Jedi and all those guys, even some Galactic Republic. But I mean, in terms of all modes right now, I can't help but not go to those guys. Finalizer is an incredible fleet. It's just hard to beat, guys. It's really hard to beat this First Order team in this faction. This whole fleet here is ridiculously good. It beats Finalizers. It can beat it can beat Executors or Executors. Sorry, Negotiators, Malevolences. It just beats pretty much most of the teams that are good that you see all the time at GAC. So I mean, it's just a really strong team, and I mean, I'll keep talking. I just wanted to show them in action really quick, just so I can prove my point as I'm talking and making this video. But I'm curious if you guys have any teams that you're like, you know what, that might be a bit better all the way around for all these modes, even including fleet. Then I would love to know that. Rebels are definitely up there. I wouldn't say they're bad. I just feel like in terms of unlocking some of these guys, this is definitely a bit easier, and they just kind of help a lot more than other teams that we see in the game. So yeah, I mean, trying to think even like of recent teams that we've got, like Inquisitors and all that sort of stuff. I just haven't like been in love with them. I always go back to these guys. They always find some really nice use for me in these modes. I'm a pretty big proponent of TW right now, so I haven't actually always been, but I have as of late because it just is more fun for me, and it's not as intense, I guess. It still can be, but it doesn't feel as intense, or I'm like relying on just myself, like in GAC, right? But I do like TW a lot, and I gotta say that that Omicron with Phasma in TW is just phenomenal. I just don't think that there is a more versatile Omicron in the game right now for TW. There's definitely some of those Omicrons that we have that kind of build together and make the team a lot better, like as a unique or whatever, kind of like the Chahani made for the Star Killer. But I just feel like that one Omicron you can have, you are set. You are just so set for your entire use of that character and team in that mode. And yeah, it gets lots of uses, guys. One thing maybe it doesn't get the best uses is in arenas, the squad arenas. mainly because Kylo is just not that good right now. There's definitely better teams, but the thing is you don't have to worry about that because there are no crystals in that mode. If it was like maybe a year plus ago, I would say, okay, maybe that can be an issue. But as of right now, it's not. So don't worry about it. Fleet's definitely the one to worry about right now. But yeah, if you guys have any others that you're like, no, Ian, this is the one that is a bit better than Phasma, I would love to know, or just talk about it down below in the comments. Just have a nice conversation about it because I'm very curious. I always like to think of videos like this just because, you know, sometimes it's just nice to hear other people's opinions about like what that they found to be very helpful, you know, all around the table for different modes and parts of the game. So yeah, just let me know, guys. Gotta say though, one thing that's a little bit off topic, but I guess still kind of because we're playing Fleet right now, is the Radis's ship, the Profundity, is coming out soon, and it is said to be able to destroy executors. So if that's the case, I would say still have a nice finalizer, or I mean, sorry, have a nice executor counter that is not the Radis's Profundity, and keep these finalizer and first order guys around just in case. This is definitely more of an offensive fleet for sure, is just how these guys always have rolled. But just keep that in mind moving forward with Fleet, is that Profundity is meant to kill quite easily, it says, I can't even talk, executors. And same way, it's like flip-flop, right? If it was executor, then it can beat the Radis Profundity. Alright, guys, but that's about it. I just wanted to finish up this video by killing this Hound's Tooth, and there we go. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any of those comments, leave them down below. Besides that, if you have any more ideas for videos as well, let me know down below in the comments. That's it, though. I will see you guys all later. Peace out, and have a good one. Bye, guys.